Hello and welcome to Tonalist Painting by M. Francis McCarthy. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy. And the painting we're doing today is called Western Valley. And this is a redo. As a matter of fact, you can see the original, which, none of the landscape basically survived. Maybe bits of the sky did. This was Well, I've talked about it in my blog and probably a bit on the videos I've been doing, for since the last, I don't know, 3 months, 4 months. I've gone through my boxes of paintings that I haven't sold or that, I'm just, some of them, probably never would have been sold. They just had issues. Like this one had an issue with just the weird shape of the mountain, you know. Anyway, all that kind of stuff can sneak up on you, and there's all sorts of reasons why a painting can fail. I mean, in fact, there's definitely more reasons that a painting can fail than a painting can succeed. It's much easier to make a bad painting than a good one, so I don't feel too bad about doing some stinkers, and I just take it on the chin, and I keep moving forward. And one of the things I like to do with the ones that I feel are less than successful is rather than being attached to them and not letting them go even though they're bad, I will just make big strong changes to them like I did in this one. In some cases I might cover the original painting entirely. Maybe the only thing that might survive is the title, funny enough. I've got a few like that have the title is the only thing that's remained from the original image, other than underneath the new painting there is an old painting, and little bits of it do show through, and you get, it's important to note, and I've noted this in the past, you get a very, very different feel and quality when you paint over an old painting than you do when starting on a fresh board. One of the main differences, of course, being when I start over a fresh board, usually you'll have lots of that little burnt sienna tone coming through here and there, and of course there'll be considerably less in a case like this, where even less of that will come through, but it really doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't detract or kill from the painting. You just get a very different quality, especially in the darks, where you'll see the dark is sort of streaked over the painting that came before, because that is less absorbent than the original board I might have painted on. So another, just a different quality in general. The fact that there's already some bits of color there. There might be whole areas that you leave untouched that have been completely repurposed, and this is something I like to do periodically. I think the last time I went through a big rash of this sort of thing was in 2013, after returning from a vacation and seeing a lot of the work I'd done with new eyes, and all of the problems jumping out and screaming at me, in addition to the fact that I had just gone to the Louvre and witnessed all these masterworks and gained quite a lot of insight into landscape painting just in the day I was there, and looking at the originals instead of reproductions. And that's something I guess I should mention here. If you I live out here in New Zealand, and there's not much of the kind of painting I like out here. But if I was in the States, like the vast majority of my audience, man, get to the museum. Get out there and start looking at the things that are in your town, and get to know the nice original paintings in your town, and sit there and study them, and because the difference between an original and a reproduction is just vast. I mean, by reproduction, I mean from in a book or even on screen. You might pull up dozens of images from your favorite painter online, and you can totally appreciate the work. I mean, you're in both cases you're interacting with a two-dimensional image. However, original paintings have a whole different feeling, and if you're not real hip to that, get out to the museum and check it out. You'll definitely see what I'm talking about. Anyway, I got back from my vacation and my trip to the Louvre, and I guess one of the big insights I got was that all these old masters definitely employed a lot more contrast in their work than I was at that time. And so where I was criticized quite a lot for my paintings being dark, in some cases I took them even darker, but to the degree I would take something darker is to the degree where I would push an area of the painting into extreme areas of high contrast. And this is something I noticed that the old masters did over and over and over again. You have a painting that was, and who knows why this painting is so dark either. I mean, when an oil painting's hung around for, 400 years or 300 years or even 100 years, especially if it's been varnished a lot, they can get quite dark. And of course, since these guys didn't have photography and didn't have video and things like that, it's really hard for us to know what that painting looked like back when they actually did it. I generally assume that it was brighter, and one of the things that I kept in mind when I was doing my 100 Days of Tonalism is if I was going to make an error in the judgment of a painting towards lighter or darker in my study, I always went lighter and brighter under the assumption that that original painting probably was lighter and brighter, and it's real easy to get into this tobacco stain mode, which, if my paintings do end up looking like that in a couple hundred years, that's fine. I mean, I really like and enjoy paintings that have that tobacco stain quality that are old paintings. Now, however, if you set out to do this tobacco stained thing now, what's it going to look like in 100 years, 200 years? God only knows, and we don't know what kind of eyes the robots in the future are going to have. I know there'll be robots. I'm not sure if there's going to be humans. So, I'm painting for the robots, man, Well, no, I'm painting for the humans, but I'm painting for anything that wants to appreciate my work down the road. Getting back into the redo thing, this is, I don't know, let's see how many I've got here. 17 redos I did in the month of May/June. These were all redos where I didn't cut down the panels, and then the month after that I had a lot of panels that I had cropped to pull into better focal points and things, and in those cases I didn't do much entire repainting, although actually I might take that back. I did in a couple cases, but for the most part I was really trying to save those paintings with a crop, and then I would go in and maybe pump up the contrast or do a touch of glazing and things like that. And I've been in the process of I just recently photographed those, so I got to get into processing all my photography and stuff before I can start showing you any of those. But I imagine I'll probably pick my top 2 or 3 redos from this May-June period for you to check out. This is probably the one I was the happiest with, and I always like to put my best foot forward, especially with you guys. So you can pretty much rest assured, if you're seeing these paintings on the video YouTube in video form, or you're reading my blog, you're getting work that I probably won't be repainting, because I really don't tend to put my less strong work up on the blog, especially after 2013. And if you do dig around in my old blog, you'll see a whole huge section from that 2013 era, early 2013, probably the first 4 or 5 months. All I did was sit there and fix paintings that were needing some help. But I've done even more this time, but that can mean maybe not so much, since it was around that 2013 period where I decided to stick with just doing 8x10s. or 8x8s. Anyway, hey, we're getting close to the end here. Thanks for joining us today. And if you'd like to see more of my work, go to landscapepainter.co.nz. There's a bunch of paintings there and links to a bunch of other stuff I've been involved with in the past. And I guess we'll see you next week. So take good care and stay out of trouble.